Hey, yo, Chico and Chicas. It's Dominic D'Angelo. I am of Studio1Sports.com and Podcast Heat Wrestling. Dang it. But I'm here. It's Monday. Robert might be joining in. He is on a work assignment currently, so hopefully he'll be able to join us shortly. Putting my right mic on. Hopefully I sound a little bit better. But good to be here with all you on a Monday to preview WWE Raw, talk a little bit of the news. Janel Grant finally speaks. We hear from her. I was fortunate enough to join Scott Chaplin for this week's episode of Working Stiff since Robert was away doing the bat mitzvah for his daughter. And so I tagged in, and Scott and I went into big detail about what we were thinking about the Janel Grant press conference that they had. We covered a whole lot of ground, too. Raw, WrestleMania situation, Dynamite and the decisions made there, House of Glory Wrestling, lots and lots of things covered. So be sure to check that out. That is up now. You can tune into if you haven't yet. But let's say out to some folks in the chat here. We got Wanna Breeze. Jeff Hedinger saying, hello, R&I. Just listened to Working Stiff. Oh, speaking of. And if you want to listen to an hour and a half of Scott's worst wrestling take while Dom nods and agrees, where was Solo Dom, who goes off when Robert's not around? I did nod and agree. We kind of pushed back. I thought some of that stuff were some kind of fair points. I necessarily don't think when it comes to I thought Dynamite, like I did. I thought Dynamite was good, but then Robert kind of changed my mind. Scott made some other cases for certain aspects of it too. So I thought it was kind of a fair. I was understanding of both of them. So that was my thoughts on that. But I do appreciate the input for sure. Triple E says, what's up? Kimmy Star says, after morning, it's a Monday in every derogatory way. Plus, I may have brain damage thinking of Dom's voice was soothing on the pod. Plus, I may have brain damage thinking Dom's voice. It was soothing? Oh, wow. Maybe I should do some ASMR stuff or whatever. Should I dabble into those dark arts? Dre Owen says, hello, R&I. Listening to Working Stiff yesterday. Oh, man. Scott sounded like a cornet defending his favorite tag team, LOL. That being said, Collision was a good show on Saturday. Interesting. Yeah. Robert and Scott will be joining up to talk about Janel Grant as well. So to get Robert's take also on that. But additionally, I'm sure they'll cover Collision too, because that's been a thing they've been doing. Caspian, thanks for tuning in. You should have a legend in the video for Razor to be on. You can call it the Razor's. Oh my God, what a genius idea. The Razor's Ledge. Maybe I need a cat tree right behind me. And yeah, that might not be a bad idea. That's not a bad idea, Caspian. I might have to invest into something. The Razor's Ledge. I love it. Mm-hmm. What was Scott's worst take? I'm trying to figure out what you guys are saying. Yeah. Scott made a lot of takes. So tell me what his worst take was. Air out your grievances. Drew, well, there was no Robert to keep Scott in check. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm the guest on there, so I'm not going to, overstep. I mean, I could push back, certainly, in certain things, but there's a lot of things I didn't necessarily disagree with. I do think I thought the one thing he was wrong on, I will say this, is, Cody Rhodes is a bad wrestler. There's no way. Cody Rhodes is a good wrestler. I would even argue, you could make the case he's a great wrestler in certain ways. From a standpoint that, he knows how to cultivate an audience, get a crowd, and he's a star. So that, in my eyes, makes him a great wrestler. But from a technical standpoint, I understood what he was talking about. And he did say himself that he was a mark. This is Mark Takes. So I took that for accountability, too. So, yeah, I should get a cat cam. Just put a cat cam on Razor. Point of view for the cat. Boy, could you imagine if I could hook that up there? Man, it'd be a little side window. That'd be too distracting, I think. All right. Triple E says, anyone notice when Robert doesn't show up for R&I, the masked man stays away? Don't think it's a coincidence. Is Robert the masked man? I think that's what he's implying. Well, all right. So we talked on Working Stiff. We talked Janel Grant. I'll talk Janel Grant on here too a little bit. So she spoke out, I believe it was Friday. She had a press conference in Connecticut and opened up about the situation and had some things to say. about nearly ending her own life, um, uh, and just the torment and kind of seclusion that she had to go through these past several years. It's crazy to think that all this started taking shape in 2022. It's almost 4 years since all this has really taken form. So I'm sure she's gone through a very, very tough situation with all of this thing coming into play. There is the aspect of certainly the Vince McMahon stuff, and all that was kind of, she certainly addressed some of that issue. She also, though, did not let the current WWE off the hook when it comes to what they've done regarding the work environment there. She says, does it look like we work in a safe environment when the destination point, if you're hurt, is weaponized use of your experience on live TV every Monday night for months by their actions and by their reactions? That says a lot more about the current leadership than it says about me. She's referring to, there was an angle last year regarding Dom Mysterio getting text messages from Liv Morgan and showing it to his male counterparts in the Judgment Day. So implying that she was sending him lewd pictures. And so that was out there. And, Janelle Grant took note of that in regards to it perhaps pertaining to her and her situation. She says, she also added, there is headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut right now that is full of intimidated people that I care very, very much about. So she spoke out on behalf of that, saying that, I don't like, you could, she didn't make clear if it's, women or if it's just a negative work environment or kind of like a walking on eggshells work environment. So I don't know. That's certainly something that she really touched upon. And I was surprised just because I kind of forgot about the Liv Morgan angle. I do remember Dom getting text messages from Liv Morgan, and but not necessarily going to that level. But it seemed like it was implied, I guess, on Raw. If the chat remembers that more clearly than I do, help me out, because I do remember that like backstage segments kind of going on and Dom getting texts and him showing it to groups of the Judgment Day, but don't necessarily remember all of that really came into formation here. Just so you get a little bit of detail about the briefing that she had. It was organized by Beth Hamilton, executive director of the Connecticut Alliance to End Sexual Violence, whom Grant credited with bringing her to Hartford. Grant said that a Thanksgiving phone call to thank Hamilton led to her appearance this past weekend, describing it as a human-to-human moment and that she set the advocacy effort in motion. Grant urged Connecticut lawmakers to treat her case as a cautionary tale for the non-disclosure agreement policy reform, arguing that non-disclosure agreements used to conceal misconduct do not eliminate her harm, but relocate it. No one should be required to trade silence for accountability, and no workplace should be able to become safer for an institution than the people inside of it. She was kind of referred to how that this was that she was kind of handcuffed by the non-disclosure agreement in a lot of ways, and she could not speak out on her own behalf and certain things like that. And so I was curious about why could she speak out now about it, and why was now the right time to do it? And so made me think about it. And Scott made the pitch, not to ruin it or spoil it, but he said that, was this an indication that Janelle Grant is going to lose the case? And so she's now speaking out more about it to kind of make a last-ditch effort in a roundabout way to try to get some traction or some hope when it comes to the thing, or just to get her voice heard before it all gets swept under the rug, or all gets settled and finished up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. If you guys want to chime in on a lot of that stuff, you can feel free to do so as well. That was the whole thing. It was when Liv was trying to get Dom when Rhea was out. Okay, so she's like, yeah. And like, because I couldn't remember if it was like just like flirty text or if it was implied that there was something different. But I do certainly remember that going on. I just don't remember the details about it all. But yeah, I'd love to get Robert's take on here once we get him on here. If he shows up today, if he get him tomorrow, we'll definitely be talking about it in some form or fashion. Something else going on tonight is WWE Raw Monday night. It's taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. And seems what I've been hearing is that there's been some travel issues regarding the snowstorm that took place here up in the Northeast. Thankfully, Pittsburgh here did not get any of that stuff. We got a light dusting, and that was it. We haven't gotten anything. Yeah, but weather delays hit the Atlanta show, causing production issues. Per Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer, the weather is primarily affecting the production side. With Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport experiencing cancellations, delays, the production team may have to make last-minute adjustments. This could mean delays involving crew, equipment, staging, and technical setup. So the show is set to feature AJ Styles, which we'll talk about here, appearance by Brock Lesnar, Liv Morgan making her WrestleMania decision as the 2026 Royal Rumble Women's winner. Also on tap, might as well just lead right into it. Maxine Dupree is also set to face Natty, which is kind of surprising. A women's elimination chamber qualifier featuring Raquel Rodriguez, Io Sky versus Kairi Sane, and men's elimination chamber qualifier with Bronson Reed, Jey Uso, and original El Grande Americano. All are also scheduled to take place on the show. All right, let's talk about some of these matches. Kind of surprised, like I just said, Natty versus Maxine Dupree going down right now. I mean, I think you could have built that, potentially for a Mania match or like the night before the SmackDown before Mania match or something to that, Maybe they still have that on the docket. Maybe they have something else in mind where Natty and Maxine get involved with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. I don't know. Maybe they'll be put in like a fatal four-way kind of situation or something. But kind of surprised we're getting this one-on-one tonight. Be interesting to see what it develops. The Natty character is great. Maxine is like a cool kind of fun baby face to have. Fighting from underneath and everything. So be neat to see how that kind of plays out. When it comes to the men's elimination qualifier match for the Elimination Chamber with Bronson, Jay, and Grande Americano, I think I'd put Bronson in it. I think, you got to have some vision presence in there. And he makes sense to be put in there. I think that, he can really make kind of a statement for himself. Almost like, if you were to make him a dominant force in the Royal Rumble, this could be his opportunity to kind of stand out in the Elimination Chamber and be the big time monster in there as well. So I would be more for Bronson to win it. Don't want Jay to win it. Just keep him as the tag wrestler. No need to murky the waters here and get him out of that element. I think you keep him with Jimmy, make that the focus, and move on from there. El Grande Americano, I'm sure we'll probably get a situation maybe where, is this the original one? I think it is. I think it's maybe Chad Gable. Maybe. Let's see here. I have it here. Yes, it's potentially, allegedly, Chad Gable as the original Grande Americano going in this. So I could see, the El Grande Americano thwarting his progress in this match. So I'm sure that might happen. Also, Brock Lesnar set to return. Where is he going to fit in this WrestleMania mix? Gunther did pitch out the idea that he wouldn't mind facing a Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. As a matter of fact, the ring general appeared on the morning shift on the 92.9 The Game on Monday, where a host floated Lesnar's name as Gunther's next potential opponent. That's a good one, right? Yeah, we'll see. This is Gunther talking. I think there are a bunch of examples of people that overstay their welcome. That just hang on a little bit too much just to chase one moment too much. It seems like there's a big amount of people to choose from. So certainly teasing into that. I think I think that's the route we're going to get. I think we're going to get Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. Here's how I think it might go down. AJ Styles, they're giving him the tribute show or whatever, or the tribute. I could imagine Gunther obviously trying to spoil that party. AJ and him confront one another. Maybe Gunther really hammers home the point and takes AJ out. Almost maybe stretchers him out. And who do you see come out to defend AJ? But Brock Lesnar? I don't know. And then you have pretty hot thing going down there. And then you have Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. Career on the line. I don't know. But what would be the incentive for Lesnar to have that happen? If he puts his career on the line, what's Gunther giving up exactly? So, I don't know. Could be interesting. We'll see how it plays out. How much reverberation will we see from the Janel Grant briefing and what she had to say, and how much will that affect, the vision of Brock Lesnar too at this time? I know he's kind of been not as big of a factor in this lawsuit situation. It seems like he's been in the clear, obviously, because they've been using him and stuff like that. So, but I mean, like, if like the buzz and kind of, the Janel Grant situation reignites to the prominent mainstream eye, then who knows? Who knows about how it could maybe shift some things? But we'll see. We'll see what they decide to do here tonight. Should be interesting. WWE really needs to get their ducks lined up here for WrestleMania. Now it's these past couple Raws have not been great. There's been some takeaways that I've kind of enjoyed, but ultimately these shows have been nothing's happening. I said on Working Stiff, I would not be against them moving Elimination Chamber out of this position each year. Kevin Nash happened to say on his podcast that he was referencing the Hell in a Cell. He was like, he's not basically saying he's not for having like a pay-per-view themed around a certain stipulation match. And I am of this. I think it kind of takes away the specialness, the uniqueness of the Royal Rumble at this time of the year. Okay, you have the Royal Rumble. Well, and they're looking at it like, well, this is your second shot to get your title shot, is Elimination Chamber. Why? I just think it's another speed bump for WWE to kind of deal with, because, we have Elimination Chamber. Let's focus on Elimination Chamber, then build towards WrestleMania. If you had Royal Rumble and then you just built, not saying that you don't have necessarily a pay-per-view in between here, but don't make it a stipulation pay-per-view. Like, bring No Way Out back. I mean, I think, has NXT been using No Way Out? I don't even know. But, like, bring a show like that that's like a generic show that helps you build towards WrestleMania, instead of having the stipulation that you have to work around. And I understand maybe you're creating, a little bit of storyline and tailoring it to help you maybe build some feuds. But right now it doesn't really seem that way, right? It just seems like, okay, we're getting these names in the mix. These guys have their shot. These gals have their shot. Let's see where it goes. I would be more for them moving Elimination Chamber. Hey, perhaps make that the thing to do before SummerSlam, like a couple months before. Like, schedule it out so it's where, like, you almost have the same separation between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, where you do Elimination Chamber and SummerSlam. And so then you have that, like, kind of thing going on, like the second go around. Wouldn't necessarily be against that. But I do think to have it in here kind of hinders a little bit of your storytelling element. You're kind of shackled to what you're able to do, and it creates an easy out, an easy excuse to be like, we'll just make it Elimination Chamber and book these guys and gals in this manner. So there we go. And then it doesn't really take away. Then it takes away some of maybe the cool storytelling you can be building with and working with. So that's my thoughts on that. Let's take a look at what people are saying here in the comments. I'm going to be scrolling back up. Lots of engagement going on here. Appreciate everybody chiming in the comment section. If you're tuning in, go to StudioOneSports.com. StudioOneSports.com and hit like, hit subscribe, and get the word out about this channel. This is where you can get clips of these episodes. I'm going to do more of that. And this is where you can get interviews that I do here. But you can always get your daily Rumor and Innuendo fix by coming to studio1sports.com. You can also check out free matches and free events, live streaming match events from Exodus Pro. That's EC3's promotion based out of Cleveland, Ohio. They will be having their next show actually March 21st. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be streaming live on this channel, I believe. So excited for that. And yes, more stuff to come, interviews, everything. I'm going to be at WrestleMania this year. So hopefully I can cultivate some interviews to put up on here as well and get you some good, fun content going down. All right. But yeah, let's take a look at the comments here. You guys have been chiming in quite a bit. I appreciate it. Like I said, where did I leave off at? Okay. Cammy says it's hard to believe younger women being in a position like that. Most will see a side with the older man in power. It's such a crazy dynamic. And like, if you go and watch the briefing with Janel Grant, your heart really does go out to her. Like, it seems like she has been through a lot. And like, and at the same time too, it's just like, I always kind of think about both sides now. Like, because yeah, you see one side, you see another side. You're familiar with the other side, being WWE, being Vince McMahon, all that kind of stuff. So it does, like, you do tend to kind of lean more towards Grant's side of things when it comes to maybe how she was treated, certainly, and some of that stuff. But then you hear other things too, like gifts and things like that. So how mutual and consensual was this relationship? Where was the abuse coming into play? Where was all this happening? And so it really muddies the water. It's a very, very muddy situation. And, but I would implore people to go out and check out the video itself and make your own assessment on it all too, because, when I was watching it too, I was like, man, it seems like this woman's been through a lot. So, all right. Let's see what else we got here. Wanna Bree says, also think that when Liv slipped Dom her hotel. Oh, that's right. I remember that when he slipped her the hotel key. Interesting. Yeah. Wow. Yep. Man, that's that definitely paints a picture, certainly. Let's see. Yeah, Cammy agreed with me. We build with Natty and Maxine. I'm with you. I think it's a fun thing that they could do. It's like, I love Becky as a champion in some form or fashion. Don't necessarily think the title needs to be in the play, though, with her and AJ. I would have much rather seen Natty and Maxine Dupree go at it with Maxine still as the champion. You could have Natty turn heel on her and not cost her the championship. And then, so there's some added incentive, and then you're building that title. That's a story that you could really put a big focus on and have some fun with, and build a new star in Maxine Dupree, and kind of in a roundabout way, build a new star in this Natty persona. So I would be much more for that. Oh, Devin says, great job Saturday night. Yes, I was live. IWC Wrestling. I was on commentary for the majority of the show. It was IWC Reloaded. Yes, you can catch that streaming on Triller TV, or go to iwcwrestling.com. Sign up for IWC Network and you can check it out. My brother Marcus was involved in the event for sure. He was not happy about a certain element, and you'll see why if you tune in. But some great matches. Chavo Guerrero was there. He has not missed a beat, my friends. Chavo Guerrero was amazing. Amazing. He fought Big Bill Collier, and he also took on Zach Nystrom in a triple threat match. You have to check it out. It's such a fun match. There's some interesting title changes, some big other surprises that went down. Really, really fun event. I told the IWC, the brass there, that was the funnest event I've been a part of yet for the show, for the promotion. It really was. I had a blast on Saturday night. It was a good time, good energy. The crowd was packed. So go check it out. IWCWrestling.com, or go to Triller.tv, I believe it is, on the app. And I think you can get a 7-day free trial if you do that. So try that out. Jeff Henniger says, would like to see original El Grande Americano win, but probably going to be Bronson. I think it's going to be Bronson. Yes. Devin also adds the mystery of Reloaded was fun. Yeah, that's the whole intrigue about IWC Reloaded is it's like random. So you don't know, you know who the champions are. You don't know who they're facing. So that's the cool thing. Yeah. Cammy also adds, Chamber feels like a throwaway pie. Yeah, it does. It really does. I just think it hinders your the aspect, a key aspect of it all. Let's see. So Wannabree says, I think I need to build like AJ and Brock, have a backstage talking about respect, and then then Gunther takes AJ, Dragon Lee, and Ray, and then Brock gets fed up because Gunther keeps cutting down old timers. It's a good way to do it, Jeff. I agree with you on that one. I like it. I like where your head's at. Let's see. Caspian says, did you see both our men's and women's hockey teams? Yes, win gold at the Olympics. That was great. I caught the women's goal on social media, and that was pretty darn cool. Really neat. Did not know that women's hockey was going down. I mean, I guess I kind of did, but it wasn't on my radar as much, obviously. But then I did watch the men's gold cup game or gold medal game, and the majority of it, or not the majority of it, a good portion of it. And man, that was what an ending. What an ending. It was great. Went into overtime. Some of the Canadians are upset that overtime went to 3-on-3 hockey instead of your normal 5-on-5, saying that's not part of the game. Well, the NHL has been using it for years. And I will say firsthand, going to a Penguins game and seeing overtime hockey, 3-on-3 overtime hockey, nothing like it. You're on pins and needles the whole time. It is so exciting and so fun. So, look, NHL players, though, in Canada and America, they're both have their crop of NHL players on that. I mean, they're all NHL players, so they're all aware of how 3-on-3 hockey works. So that's the game. That's the game. Suck it up, Canada. Some of these Canadians have been really upset about how that all went down, but that's how the sport's played now. Times they are changing. You got to adapt or die. I'm with Cammy on this one. We need to get rid of 6 PLEs to focus on story. I'm with you. Now, WWE has obviously changed their structure because they don't do the live events as much anymore, but they do these PLEs and make them try to feel like a big deal. But yeah, I mean, like, get rid of a few at least. And if AEW is trying to make their product more story or more television based because they're a television product primarily, like, get rid of some of your pay-per-views too. I liked it when they had like 6 or 4, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And then if you built them in the right manner, you could have that price point that you have for a pay-per-view because it doesn't happen all the time. Or you could not have that, have a reasonable price point, say $10.99, something like that, and hopefully get a huge amount of people tuning in and buying. So it's added incentive to more eyes on your big wrestling product. So, so Cammy says she's got firsthand experience on this. I can say it's forced consent. And yeah, that's a good point, Cammy, because Janelle Grant said too during that briefing that WWE wanted her to go and say this was a consensual relationship. And she was like, I'm not doing that. And then they ended up having a representative say that it was a consensual relationship without, unbeknownst to her, according to her. And so, yeah, it's true. It's true. Definitely a situation going down. And it's unfortunate. And it's, I'm sure it's it happens in all types of businesses and work environments. You hear about the ESPN days back in the day and how this was, going kind of thing too. I want to read that book, ESPN. Those boys have all the fun. I used to have the book. I used to have that actual book, the ESPN book, but I got lost in travel and me relocating, and I don't have it anymore. But I think it's called The Boys Have All the Fun or something like that. Check it out if you can. I'm going to try to find it on maybe I'll just buy it. So Caspian says, thoughts on Johnny Ace making live convention appearances now? Ugh. I mean, it shows you where he's at, right? I think that's what that really tells you. I mean, you know, if I were him, which thank goodness I'm not. But if I were him, I mean, I guess I understand doing it because where else are you going to make money? I mean, you can pick a 9-to-5 job, but if you're trying to, but is he really going to get people? Are you going to want to meet Johnny Ace? I don't think so. Geez, maybe I'll see him in Vegas, right? I'll ask him some questions. A couple things. People power. What kind of power were you wielding during this lawsuit? All right. Let's see. Okay, cool. I covered all the comments here. I will have to say, I have to talk a little bit about one of our new sponsors or returning sponsors. I'll say that. Men's Go to Mars. That's right. Men's Go to Mars. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Whoo! Hold on. Gotta look at the light. Whoo! Sorry. I could have muted. But man, that gave me some energy a little bit. But turning 40, being in that range, you kind of feel a little bit of lower energy, and you're kind of experiencing some changes. Obviously, you don't have that as much energy. You might have a lower T kind of thing going on. Well, Mars Men may be an option for you if you're in the same boat that I am. Yes, I think Mars Men is a product that I've had here before. Pull up the box. I got the box right here, as a matter of fact. Boom. And there's supplements that you can take, and they're supposed to help elevate you and get you on the right track. And if you stay consistent and stuff like that, they're designed to give you higher energy and perhaps help you with sleep and get you on that right track of getting where you were maybe back in your younger years, and putting that focus on there. So here we go. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life. That's right, 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that Rumor and Innuendo sent you. So check out mengotomars.com. I have that box. I have the other box. I'm going to give it a spin, see how it goes. Because, it's like anything I can do to help kind of elevate and build some energy. And, it's supposed to be beneficial, too, if you work out and everything. So I want to see maybe I get a little bit of added results going on here. So we'll see. It's designed to help you out in that way. Let's see what Devin here says. Men's go to Mars to get more candy bars. Women go to Jupiter to get. Remember that riddle in the grade school? I don't remember that one. Women go to Jupiter to get Jupiter. Oh, got it. Yeah, Kami fires back. Boys go to Jupiter to get more stupid. Jupiter. All right. Dre Owens does add this. I forgot about this. Dom, did you see FTR beat up the Bucks' brother on Collision? Oh, it was his brother. I thought it was their dad. I thought they pulled Papa Buck out and powered and put all drove them. But I saw. Didn't they shove their mom or something too? I mean, that's a good way to get heat for sure. I'd put that on Dynamite. I get it. I get you're trying to get eyes on Collision and maybe make it feel better. But if again, the Collision has this identity where if you don't hear about it, you don't hear it. It probably happened on Collision. It's like a show that you can miss. But hey, to that point too, people are kind of tuning in. I mean, I know we're all ardent fans, so it's a kind of a different aspect of that. But yeah. So there we go. But be interesting to see where they go. I'm kind of in Robert's boat where it's like, FTR has kind of just lost their luster a lot for me. It's just not interesting. I don't think they're. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily totally their fault either. I think part of it is that they don't have great dance partners. Like the tag division has just been set aside in many ways. And so who's been the focus? Yeah, the Young Bucks, and FTR. Whereas you have the Acclaimed, you have the Gun Club, Billy and Austin, which I thought was great and fun. Big Bill and Brian Keith. Like, there's some teams you can kind of get together and make. And now you have Private Party returning. So it's just been I don't know, a bit of a head scratcher. Triple E asked, when is the next Fonzie episode? Might be actually Wednesday. I'm gonna text Fonzie this weekend and maybe see what his availability is, because he's got an event to perhaps promote. So maybe we'll get together and click on that one. But I can keep you posted on that. Let's see, another. Want to shout out this sponsor as well. Is Mando. I love Mando. I really do. And Mando makes you smell like an adult. That's the thing too. That's the thing I always say. You can go to Target, you can get your Old Spice, you can get, whatever other ones may be, Speed deodorant, whatever. But Mando, you can now get in stores too, but different scents that you're not used to. It's more so of that. It's a good, I don't want to say understated, but it is kind of like an understated smell where it's like, and you got different scents for it too. I'm a big fan of the Mount Fuji. And there's also bourbon leather, which is really good too. You can also get the Pro Sport. And in different forms. You can get them in stick deodorant, your conventional stick deodorant, spray, which I highly recommend. You can get the spray deodorant. And it's great stuff. It is great stuff. And it is something that you can get a hold of right now by doing this following. Some men master BO with sense. Mando Men gets the job done right. Don't mask it, Mando it. Available in retailers near you. Or head to shopmando.com, because for a limited time, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code RUMOR at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. So there we go. Let's see if anything popped up here while we've been going live. You never know. Could be having some breaking news I'm not aware of. Let's see. Oh, this is a funny one. Randy Orton being interviewed too. He was on Impulsive with Logan Paul, as a matter of fact. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Was it? Oh, no. That was Tom Brady. Tom Brady was on Logan Paul saying how Label WWE is cute. And so while speaking on ESPN's Get Up in a new interview, Randy Orton was asked which celebrity he'd like to hit with an RKO. He said, well, I did see a recent podcast Logan Paul put on. He had Tom Brady on, and Tom Brady had a few things to say about pro wrestling. I think he called it, quote unquote, cute. So I've never met him, but I'd love to meet Tom and hit him with an RKO. I'd say he'd be at the top of the list. That's great. That's great, because Randy is all about generational wrestling, from his grandfather to his dad and now to him. And so, Randy's like the perfect person to kind of say that. I think we probably talked about Tom Brady. We talked about Tom Brady and Logan Paul on here. So I think it's a fascinating kind of dynamic going on. They're trying to build hype for the flag football thing in Saudi Arabia. And, so you're trying to create a little tension there and everything. So, but yes, what a appropriate choice by Randy Orton, and what an appropriate person to say that as well as Randy Orton. So I like it. Cammy says Brady needs an RKO in general. So this is my thoughts on Tom Brady. I've had a conflicted relationship with Tom Brady as a fan, sports fan. I'm a Jets fan, so obviously him as a Patriot, I never liked, and it would always grind my gears. I will say I did actually kind of root for the Patriots one year because Vinny Testaverde went to them for 1 year in 2026. Or no, 2026. 20 years ago, 2006. Wow, 20 years ago he went to the Patriots just as a backup. But I was like, I want to see Vinny win a Super Bowl, get a Super Bowl ring. And so I did root for the Patriots that year. But ultimately, like Brady, you know, I certainly hated him over that course of time. But then I got to appreciate it because it's like he's so good. He's so good, and he's kind of undeniable. Like, you know, he goes to Tampa, and I love older athletes too, obviously, because I just mentioned Vinny Testaverde. But I love older athletes as well, and them kind of fighting against Father Time and still performing. And so him being able to do what he was doing at his age, 45, and still playing at a elite kind of level was impressive. So I did kind of ended up liking Tom Brady as an athlete and what he was capable of and stuff like that. I do think too he's improved as a commentator on Fox. His first year was rough. It was rough. But I think he's improved and kind of found his voice, and it gives better insight and has some levity to it too. Be interesting too. Something I'm not a fan of when it comes to Brady is him being a minority owner in the Raiders and still having the broadcasting, because I do think there's, no matter what gets said or shaken, there's an advantage to having that. You know, if you're getting added intel from a national perspective of other teams when you're going around, they're doing the broadcasting thing. And like, because you're interviewing people, you're talking to people, maybe that certain coach or whoever you're interviewing, player, might be a little guarded in what they delve to Brady, but it is Tom Brady. So it's just like chatting with him and, you know, kind of loosen up and having a conversation. You know, you're going to say some stuff. And yeah, just doing your research like that he's capable of doing as a broadcaster, you're just going to get a little bit of a competitive edge doing that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all develops. But yes, Brady is certainly a polarizing person in all of sports. Caspian, do they encourage you to have fun with ad reads like Cornette does on his show? His ad reads are just nuts. Yeah, they do. As a matter of fact, they do encourage you to do that. And sometimes certain sponsors will want you to read it word for word, verbatim, and they make that clear. Others want you to have fun. Like, you know, Blue Chew, they have a script that you can read and stuff, but you can also have some fun with it too if you want to do that. I'm trying to think of another brand that does. Mando, just the one I just read. They don't. I mean, they have some do's and don'ts kind of stuff, but they also let you say your piece. They want it specified to you and your experience with their product. So they do encourage that. Perfect Jeans, big time. They're like the Perfect Jean. I know I'm just shouting out sponsors not currently have, but like they're big into like just having a blast with it and doing what you want with it. So it's dependent on the sponsor. So yeah, some of them encourage it. Some of them want it read a certain way, somewhat for legal reasons, whatever it may be. But that's kind of where they're at. So I did not root for the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I rooted for Sam Darnold, a former New York Jet, who never trashes the Jets, even though he has a right to. And I've always liked Sam Darnold, so I was cheering for the Seahawks. Jeff Henniger, did you see some people respond to Brady at like Oba and Tyler Breeze, and they both said, come on in the ring and try it out, and then you can comment on it? That's a great point, too. Right? People trash wrestling. Oh, it's cute. And you have this certain identity if you're not a fan of it. Like, oh, yeah, that stuff, that fake stuff, it's not that fake. Actually, Brady's teammate, Gronkowski, had a little apprehension of taking a big bump, if you recall that. And Vince McMahon did it first to show him. So it is not easy to do. So it's a good point. So, hey, I'm going to close out, though, because my computer's about to die. And but I do want to thank all of you for tuning in here on a Monday. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Robert in the mix here, but I'm sure he'll be able to join us tomorrow, hopefully, and get his perspective on the Janel Grant situation, his thoughts on Raw, and more on that. But I thank everybody giving your thoughts here behind the scenes. And we'll always appreciate you guys chiming in and tuning in. So be sure to go to, again, if you're not there, go to studio1sports.com and help spread the word about this channel. Hit like, comment on the video, and get a little engagement going. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for engaging with me during this live show, and I'll see you tomorrow on Rumor and Innuendo. Best of luck in your future endeavors, and enjoy the elements if you're in the Northeast. Stay safe. Snow's out there. Guess in New York, not in Pittsburgh though. Shh.